All right, here we are. How are we doing today?
I'm okay. I'm I'm
Yeah,
I'm yep, I'm doing.
you're doing. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. This just the world today, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So continuing off of what we left off last week, we have talked about you being stressed. Your graduation is coming up soon, and you're worried about getting a job and all of that.
Yeah.
And how's that job search going?
Um I started to fix my resume so that
Okay, very
it
good.
but I just put when I will graduate um completion May 2024. Um cuz I always worry about that, cuz if you put it on there without putting that, then if the employer likes you and they're like, "Oh, you have a master's." And
Yeah.
then they call you in for an interview, but then you get in there and then they're like, "You don't have your master's yet?" And it's like, "Well, I'm gonna have," so then
Uh-huh.
so that's why I remembered to put when I would be graduating,
Yeah,
when
this
my
is
completion
important.
date would be.
It's important to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Good. Good. Good deal. Okay. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two assessments, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Um, and then we could possibly talk about treatment or how you want to go about it. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. So what this is because we talked about stress previously. This is PSS or perceived stress scale, and then it's a assessment instrument. So how the way it works is I'm going to ask you roughly about 10 questions, and then you're going to answer with a number from 0 to 4, where 0 means never and 4 means very often. So the scale goes never, almost never, sometimes, fairly often, and very often. All right.
Okay.
All right. So question one: in the last month, how often have you been upset because of something that happened unexpectedly?
Somewhat often.
Somewhat often. Okay. In the last month, how often have you felt that you were unable to control the important things in your life?
Um, Probably somewhat often.
What often? Okay. In the last month, how often have you felt nervous and stressed?
Very often.
Very often. Okay. In the last month, how often have you felt confident about your ability to handle your personal problems?
Somewhat often.
In the last month, how often have you felt that things were going your way?
Wait, could you repeat that?
How often have you felt that things were going your way, like the way you wanted them to go?
Not very often.
Very often. Okay. In the last month, how often have you found that you could not cope with all the things that you had to do?
Somewhat often.
Okay, in the last month, how often have you been able to control irritations in your life?
Somewhat often.
Okay. Excuse me. In the last month, how often have you felt that you were on top of things?
Not very often.
In the last month, how often have you been angered because of the things that happened that were outside of your control?
Um, Probably often.
Okay. In the last month, how often have you felt difficulties were piling up so high that you could not overcome them?
Maybe often. Like not a lot.
Okay. So you feel like you have a handle on things,
Mm,
somewhat,
somewhat.
somewhat. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Before we get to the next questionnaire, is there something on your mind, something that you would like to talk about, something bothering you?
No, I
No?
don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm always stressed. I got my daughter, and I'm keeping up with, my schoolwork because that's that's really important. But just this whole, changing careers and just I've been so focused on school for so many years
Yeah.
that now it's done. It's like it's right there. I'm going to be done. So I guess part of me is like, oh, now I got to get out there. I got to find a new job in my new career. And I guess it might be some relief because I'm going to be done with school. So there's excitement, but also worry. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, of course.
But I'll figure it out. I'll get through it. I always do.
Okay, that's the attitude. Very good. Very good. Yeah, very good. All right. So let's fit on with the next questionnaire. This one is similar to the other one. It's a little different. So this is also a persistent stress questionnaire
It's
or
a,
PSQ. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, it cut out. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, this questionnaire is also a PSQ or for perceived stress.
Okay.
Um, and then the answers go from 1 to 4 as almost, sometimes, often, or usually. Uh, so the first question, do you feel rested?
No.
No. Like this is, if you would say from 1 to 4, when almost is 1 and usually is 4, you could say, I feel almost rested, or I feel rested sometimes,
I
like
feel
that.
rested sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay, so you feel that too many demands are being made on you?
I do feel like that sometimes.
Okay. Is this because of school, work,
Um,
or is this in general?
well, it's like a combination because I
Yeah.
mean, I have deadlines and stuff for um completing assignments, but then at work, because I'm a substitute teacher, so every day I'm not in like the same spot every day. I'm not in the same classroom. Sometimes I'm not even in the same school. So each
Oh,
day
I
that
see.
I sub, you have to write like a little note, like if you had problems with a particular student or the day went great and this student helped out a lot, like, that sort of thing.
Okay. Um, so are you irritable or grouchy
Um, I guess a lot. I guess
often?
yes, I'm often easily grouchy or irritated. Yeah.
Okay. You feel you have to maintain.
I'm sorry, you cut out. I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, let me get a little closer to the microphone. Do you feel you have too many things to do?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
certain days. It
okay.
feels like
All right. Do you feel lonely or isolated?
I do feel lonely a lot.
Okay. Do you find yourself in situations or conflict?
No.
No. Good.
Mm-mm.
Um, do you fear that you may not manage to attain your goals?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Like often. I feel that a lot right
Mhm.
now just because the whole gotta get a job after I graduate. So that's a source of a lot of my anxiety. And and then when I really start to worry about it then I start to spiral. So
Okay. Do you feel frustrated?
very much.
Yeah. Do you feel a lack of energy?
Yes, very much.
Do you feel like your problems are piling up?
Well, maybe sometimes
Yeah.
I may feel like that.
Do you have too many worries? I think we kind of covered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel under pressure from other people?
No, just
Precisely.
myself.
Okay. Do you feel discouraged?
Maybe sometimes,
Yeah.
not a lot. I don't feel discouraged. Yeah, maybe just sometimes.
Let me ask you, do you enjoy yourself?
What do you mean? Like, do I enjoy my own company?
Do you
Like,
enjoy, like, when you do things, do you do things because you have to or because you want to?
well, right now I do things because I have to.
Okay.
But once school gets done and I have that job, then I can start doing things that I want to do, not
Okay.
that I have to do. So yeah, right now, very much like I everything is centered around what I have to do.
Um, do you feel criticized for Josh?
No, I mean nobody criticizes me at my work or at my internship. Like
Do you have trouble relaxing?
very much,
Yeah. Do you feel mentally exhausted?
very much.
Do you feel like you have enough time for yourself?
No.
No. Okay. That was the last question. So I guess if I'm hearing you right, you are feeling stressed because of this whole school situation and possibly your change of careers.
Yeah.
Um, but it doesn't sound like you're doing a lot of self-care.
No, I don't have time.
Yeah, that's understandable. We feel like we don't have time because, well, I mean, especially you're working, you're doing school, and then when you're at home, you probably have to do your home things too. And yeah, how are you gonna find time for yourself? Do you like reading?
Yeah, I like reading, but right now I have to read school books. I don't have time to like read the books that I want to read.
Well, see, the beauty of reading is that we don't have to read for a long time if we enjoy reading. Sometimes 10 minutes could do it. What kind of books do you like to read for yourself?
Um, I've been reading oh, I like the autobiographies there, of like celebrities. Um I
Oh,
like
okay.
the I like the mystery or like thriller,
Yes, yes, of course.
like
You like the
like
good stuff.
I've read like Dean Koontz and Richard or James Patterson. It's got like that. It's not like murder, it's got a story to it where it's.
Yeah, it's mysterious. Yeah, I get it. See, I know that you say that you don't have time, and it's not easy to find the time, but I think self-care is one of the things you need when we are so busy in life, and we don't take care of ourselves, then we stress out. And if we don't deal with our stress, it's gonna come out one way or the other, we tend to, put it under the rug, but that's gonna, believe me, that's gonna blow up at some point, and we don't want that. So you want to take some time for yourself, a little break, even if it's 10 minutes of reading your, mystery novel. That's something that we want to start doing, if possible, every day. Just take 10 minutes of any light reading that you like. We could start there. um, And then, do you feel, you mentioned that sometimes you feel overwhelmed?
Yeah.
Do you know what is a grounding technique?
No.
No? Well, see, a grounding technique is a way for you to get rid of stress. I guess in a way, it's a form of self-care. It doesn't always look that way, but it sure is. There are many different grounding techniques. The whole point is to distract your mind. Like if you are thinking a lot about something that's bothering you a lot, there is this one technique that I like is with the alphabet. For each letter of the alphabet, you can say an animal, and you start with A, an albacore, or a bee. You say, I don't know, a bunny. You know what I mean? And you keep going until you went all the way to Z. And if by the time you get to C, still thinking about your problem, then you start over with something else. The reason I'm asking you to do this is because it's very important that you find a way to get off your mind. Stress is no joke. And then something else is that when we really need it, we have better know how to use it, if that makes sense. So you need to practice it at down times. When you're fine, that's when you practice. So
Okay.
whenever the moment of stress comes, then you're prepared.
Okay. I can try
Okay?
that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I like that. I like that you're willing to try. That's very good. Um okay. So would you like to meet again?
Yeah, I can meet with you again.
All right. Why don't we shoot for next week? We're gonna try this technique, and you're gonna have some time for yourself. And then we're gonna when I see you again, I want to talk about how you feel. okay, about how you feel about your stress and the things. Because remember, these are things that we can always control, but as long as we can handle them at peace, we find a moment of peace, we can really concentrate and slow down and really take care of things.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be emailing you with the next appointment, and if it works for you, you just gotta click on accept, and we'll be set for next week.
All
Okay?
right. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Have
really
a
nice
good
seeing
night.
you. You too. See you soon.